Hello everyone, this is the Digital Asset Investor. Recently I went on a sea-doo ride up a river with a friend, and while we were there we saw an alligator that was probably between 10 and 12 feet long. I plan to purchase a GoPro. I'm trying to see if I can get these pictures. It's almost like you have to creep up on them. So the next time, or perhaps this week, I'm going to try and buy a GoPro so I can mount it on the jet ski and show you. However, this is how it appears as we travel up the river. Ride a sea-doo. Going up in the morning when the lake is glassy and there are no boats out is quite pleasant. It becomes better the higher up the river you go. By the way, the Willems Group is the official sponsor of the pontoon boat, Sea-Doo, and Digital Asset Investor. That's Jeff Willems and his spouse, Marcy Willems. There you can visit their website. Tucson, Arizona Real Estate is where they are. You can check them out by visiting wiselisting.com and w-e-l-e-l-e-s-t-g.com. 2 years in a row, incredibly intelligent and kind people have visited XRP Las Vegas. One day I happened to speak with them, and they expressed their desire to support the wave. Since ProCoin News sponsored my hunt club back then, and I had them, I replied, well, I don't have a sponsor for my Sea-Doo or my pontoon boat. There you have it. Then, all right, so the official lightning rod of the Digital Asset Investor channel, Baba Cugs, hasn't been paying his bills lately. However, when I saw this tweet from him, I thought, I wholeheartedly agree. Holding since 2018. My investment has increased 100%, therefore there's nothing to be upset about, he says. He is discussing XRP. Lots of space for expansion. Invest, forget about it. Why would you be concerned with XRP's present value when the reason you bought it hasn't even begun? If you bought it because you think its future will rise when banks and other financial organizations use it, I'm thinking rationally at this point. Yes, I understand that it has taken longer than anticipated by some. However, I still believe in XRP and its current state of affairs. And this is what I saw this week as well. I'm not sure if all of these individuals have been there yet, but this was kind of the first thing I noticed when I first discovered this back in 2013. However, this is essentially what made me realize that XRP is not your typical digital asset and that Ripple is not your typical company. Introducing the team, this is when Ripple Labs was founded. With backgrounds from Silicon Valley, Wall Street, Apple, Boku, Elon, Pfizer, Flipboard, Goldman Sachs, Google, Gmail, Microsoft, NASA, the New York Fed, the NSA, Square, Twitter. In the early days of Bitcoin, our team of cryptographers, security experts, distributed network developers, and Wall Street veterans is comprised of Blend. Folks, that's not it at all. Janet Yellen was doing this for 60 Minutes today. Additionally, they are displaying the locations on these absurd pallets of printed money where Janet Yellen signed them. They are also discussing how there are two women. And I responded, well, there's another referring to Rosie Rios. I'm not sure if she is currently on the Ripple board, but she was. I haven't checked in a while, so maybe she is still. However, you get the idea. Additionally, a large number of Treasury personnel have accessed Ripple. I haven't recently checked out the rich list of XRP holders. This indicates the amount of XRP you need to own in order to be in that percent. For example, if you own more than 250,000 XRP, you rank in the top 0.2% of holders. You are above 0.1 if you have more than 449,490 or 4,784 of them. Granted, a number of people reside at many addresses. Even if this isn't accurate, it's still visually appealing. Now, I wanted to show you this next. I noticed that this tiny reminder is rather helpful. Additionally, Brad Garlinghouse explains it. This person hadn't given up on XRP at all, despite what I've been. I don't care how hard the brown shirts and the anti-XRP army attempt to scare, correct, and turn everyone against XRP. I don't care how nasty they are. I've been here far too long, and it's clear that I don't give a damn about what they think. Their viewpoint doesn't have enough significance for me to give it any thought. In addition, there are those unpleasant persons who should also feel embarrassed of themselves. I'd like to have a sip of this diet, doctor. Pepper, by the way. Speaking generally, let's put forks aside. Relatively speaking, there's a fixed supply and rising demand. And speaking of endowments and institutions, Joey and I were attempting to learn as much as we could about cryptocurrency while sitting in a meeting not so long ago with some of the world's biggest institutional money. That day, they had nothing. I'm not sure if they still have anything. However, once they hit the market, there will be a set supply and growing demand, and you won't need to attend MIT to predict what will happen. Let you know that I did not attend MIT. And I always say that it will take a long time if XRP is what we've always kind of believed it was. It's not going to happen instantly after all, which is just what I think, and Riz XRP goes on to say, who believes. The investor in digital assets thinks there's no doubt about it. The whole value of the AM pools was locked at 20.1 million, with an additional 2.1 million XRP added in under 12 hours. Mr. Huber then has an amazing clip. These guys are the bankless Ethereum maxis. They pose a straightforward query to one of the Ethereum engineers. It is really revealing, and asking why you're not risking your entire ether. Like, why haven't you simply jumped right in? I believe that knowing how to prepare sausage is one of the contributing factors. You're not going to completely participate because you are aware of how shady it is behind the scenes. Look at this John Deaton, man. He's working his tail off. Being the keynote speaker at the Cape Cod Republican Club meeting at tugboats at Hyannis Marina was an honor for me. Man, I've been wanting to go there forever. I will soon have to bring the family up that way. It always seemed cool to me up there. John Deaton seemed to be enjoying the entire campaign road based on his appearance. Although I couldn't image doing it all the time, John seems to be having a great time and is skilled at it. And that's a positive thing. Okay, so I want to show you a small portion of this video, possibly not the entire one. Please, when everyone is watching footage of Hawk Tua, pause. Her parents must be pleased. The adults in the room are observing this. CBDC can be a problem in need of a solution. There are nations who do not see this type of digital money as a viable future, but there are also intelligence agencies, that is, Western organizations, that blame China and suggest that it may use a virtual yuan in order to evade sanctions and avoid utilizing SWIFT. Andrew, what are your thoughts on this? 2 items. If I may, perhaps I should begin by addressing Xiao Gang's remarks regarding the internationalization of the yuan. About 10 years ago, he and I collaborated on the issue of renminbi internationalization. It all boils down to being a little more precise, and I believe I agree with him entirely. In what sense is internationalization used? Additionally, it indicates that money is used as a reserve asset. The dollar replaced the pound sterling, and would the renminbi eventually overtake the US dollar? In essence, Xiao Gang provided a solution to the query regarding the necessity of asking inquiries concerning institutions. In the short run, the topic of the renminbi's use in trade and its benefits arises. And if I were to sit down right now somewhere, possibly in the United Arab Emirates, and I had the option of paying in renminbi or pushing a button, and if using the CBDC meant that the trade settled instantly rather than taking a few weeks, or even just a few days and incurring more fees, I might choose to make that trade in renminbi. As long as I can quickly convert the renminbi into dirhams, dollars, or any other currency through an offshore market, I'm delighted to transact in renminbi for the moment. And in that limited sense, China might benefit from the CBDC or the renminbi's leadership. However, as I mentioned earlier, China is also actively working to operationalize the use of digital currencies, which would eliminate the need. This is similar to Project Arba, which was initiated by Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, which stated that it was not necessary to choose between the dirham and the rial instead. It was sufficient to establish a system that would allow both countries to conduct joint trade in their respective currencies. Furthermore, this is essentially a domestic issue. At this point, we can. There, I'm going to stop. As we move on to XRP.com, as you are all aware, I spoke yesterday about the petrodollar and how there are currently events going on that we are not permitted to discuss here. We are able to. I started XRP.com entirely as a result of, I'll be showcasing a bit more of it to you today. Something else is going to occur in the vicinity of this. Since the petrodollar issue has come to light, our government and the propaganda media